Welcome on in, everybody, to another episode of the Common Language Podcast. And of course, we always start off our episodes with a very wonderful jingle. Nathan, you want to start us off?
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Common language in the morning. So good. All right. Well,
it just holds it.
Starts your day, everybody. It's a good way to start your day. A little common language jingle for you. This is the Common Language Podcast. If you don't know, we talk a lot about Flesh and Blood, our favorite TCG, our common language, if you would. Talk about budget stuff, any news that's happening in the course of Flesh and Blood, but nothing like super deep. Mainly about budget formats and the things that Nathan and I both love, being able to save our money for other things that are more important in life than card games, and we can still enjoy them with all of our friends without having to.
Blasphemy do you speak? This is more to life than card games.
I know, it's crazy. I know it's not something 10 years ago me would say, but
I know.
Me now is very much so aware of the world. So, but we've got quite a bit to talk about today. I should say quite a bit, but not really.
I think we got one main topic.
And it's really something that if you haven't seen already, I posted a video on it. Yes, well, I guess if you're watching the VOD, you maybe saw it Monday.
Just say Monday. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
posted it Monday.
Yep. But this is effectively something we wanted to talk about because there was some news that came out about Silver Age and the pre-constructed decks. But before we get into all of that, Nathan, did you have anything that you did for Flesh and Blood this week?
Yes, did the normal. Was actually feeling like crap all weekend. Monday, starting to feel a little bit better, and today, I don't know. Anyways, if y'all don't know, a few weeks ago I had the flu, and like I am still recovering from that. I don't know what it is. I've had a couple years ago I had COVID. I was able to avoid COVID for 5 years and somehow got it. And even that was like awful for a week.
Right.
And then you just kind of bounce back, and I don't know what it is. So for anybody who's gotten the flu this season, you all know that it's been rough. I know a lot of people, and so many people have had like bronchitis with the flu and all this stuff. Like it's been terrible. But I did go out I missed a buddy's wedding over the weekend. I was feeling so awful.
Yeah.
I felt terrible. And then, so last night I was feeling a little bit better, a lot a bit better, honestly. I was just on cough medicine all weekend.
Sounds right. Sounds right. Just the way to be, the way to coast through life on cough medicine.
Yep. So we did, I really, really want to play Valda. I've been playing it in Talishar, but I don't have all the cards. I'm missing the mastery pack of the master pack pieces. You can play Valda without some of the seismic surge stuff, but I'm kind of like, if I'm gonna play it, I want that stuff.
You might as well get it because it's pretty important to the game plan.
Yeah, I do think if you're min-maxing appropriately, I don't think you need it. There's actually like a Miller's Grindstone piece out there right now where you don't want those because you want to clash, so you have more like big stuff in your deck, if that makes sense. So you can win the clashes, and so you actually don't want that stuff in your deck since you're doing Miller's Grindstone. But I don't like that strategy as much.
Yeah, I definitely feel that Valda has a better chance going with the seismic surge strategy of just like making the surges, giving things dominate, sending 10 dominate.
It's just more fun.
Yeah, it's more fun. You get to discount guardian attacks. Like, it's a ton of value. To kind of segue into even my week, I ended up going to another PQ this weekend. I brought Rhinar, went 3-2 and Rhinar. Didn't make top 8, but 3-2 on Rhinar.
Did you have more fun though than playing?
I did.
And that's the important part.
I also got to watch the other Huntsman make it to top 8 on their build, which is pretty cool. So good to see that. But he was able to dodge all the bad matchups in the room. So it was destined for him. I called him the main character of the day because he got to dodge everything bad. and he ended up making the top 8 where he lost to a Fi.
Mm.
But Valda actually ended up taking down the whole event. Shout out to
Nice.
Jacob Ricca of the Breaking the Chain podcast, another local content creator out here for Flesh and Blood. Jacob won on Valda. Jacob's been grinding Valda since Valda came out. Jacob's been playing Guardian and only Guardian since he started playing Flesh and Blood. And that was like back in the day, like quite a while ago. He's a big
Yep.
Bravo enjoyer. And so he ended up taking down the whole event. And that was super cool to see. And he was just so excited. I mean, all you could see all the work that he did into fine tuning the deck, into doing the testing, into getting all the stuff set
Yep.
up. It came through and it worked out, and he was able to win. So
I actually hate Guardian. I'm gonna caveat that. I
yeah,
actually do not enjoy Guardian. Um, when I started playing in Crucible of War.
all right.
So, all you had was Bravo, and I didn't really people were like, "Oh, start with Bravo, learn Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
It's the easiest deck," and I actually hated it. I did not like the blocking, like, how much I have to block to then
Uh-huh.
just maybe swing hand like, when I was learning the card game, I didn't enjoy that. I
Right.
enjoyed, Dory. I actually
Right. You
learned
played
on
Warrior a lot,
Dory.
right? So
I played Warrior a lot because I actually don't like Viserai, but now I play a ton of Runeblade. I
mm-hmm.
hate playing Viserai still. But I play a ton of Runeblade except for Viserai. I love playing Assassin in low health formats, like
mm-hmm.
limited and stuff. And I do Warrior here and there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so anyway, so last night I didn't have that, but I do have my Flowman deck, so I just pull out the Flowman.
Mm-hmm.
I went against 2 KOs, and then in the final match was against Ultim again, the same player,
Ah, the
and then
same
he
one,
took
yeah.
it down, and then he took it down. I was like, all right, I guess we're just the boss battle
Yep.
for
That's
each
it.
other right now.
Always meet in the finals. That's what it ends up being is you find your nemesis, and then it's
Uh,
just you and them in the finals, and you're
yep. So
oftentimes
he
just like, all
played it.
right, send it through.
Yeah, he played it really good. So I was trying a different strategy. I switched it up, and I went instead of doing Sledge. I did do Titan's Fist because the thought process I have in my head was, all right, I'm gonna swing Titan's Fist, Arsenal red, and then next turn um I'm gonna dominate it and send it, and then
Right.
swing Titan's Fist, like try to do an on-off turn, but
Right.
always have an attack coming at him. I think it worked out okay. Um, but where it came into play was the fact that I got forced into blocking with one of my pummels.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't close it out. I got
Right.
him down to 2 and I couldn't close it. And by the time you're down to that amount, right? Most of the time you're blocking like at that point your reds are out and so all I have is blues and so even if I dominate it like it's just 8 damage,
Right.
he can block all that. So I was trying to put him into like some awkward spots cuz I was able to get him into some awkward spots. The reason why I had to block with pummels, I had 2 pummels in my hand.
Right.
I drew up 2 pummels. I was like, God damn it.
That's rough. That's rough. Those are
And
the kind of
so,
hands that make you go, okay, well,
yeah,
I don't know. I guess I'm not doing either of the things I wanted to do this
yeah. So I
turn.
was like, either take a lot of damage or use a pummel with something else with a block card. Anyway, so
I mean,
I think
did they
maybe
send like 10 at you, or was it just Sledge?
no, it was 8 with a crush effect.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah. Yeah, that's
It
not
was
good.
like it was a decent crush effect too. I don't remember which one it
Eh.
was, but it wasn't like if it was like, oh, put the card back on top, I'd be like, cool.
Right, sweet. Boulder
Um,
drop. All right, cool. I'll
but
take it.
I think it might have been the destroy your arsenal. I can't remember. So it was
Oh.
something like that where I was like, I can't let this hit.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't if I don't block with this, I have no comeback. I messed up and utilized my armor a little bit too liberally early on.
I see.
Um, so like by towards the end of it, I didn't have enough armor to be able to kind of
Mm,
hold that. And the pummels came in towards the beginning, which is
right.
not when I want to see them because I got to get through Z-Rex. So I did pitch it and I did pitch stack it to get a good pummel off.
Right.
So when I got it off, it was really good and like he knew it was coming, right? He saw me pitch it and come in, so he knew it was coming. I was able to get him down to 4 and then down to 2, and then I couldn't quite close it out.
Yeah.
So I think, and hindsight's 2020, right? I think in that game, blocking with the pummel was a mistake. I think I needed to be a little less liberal with my equipment. Because like it's Guardian has so much block where you try to like, okay, I'm going to block this out to try to set up a good turn.
Yeah.
And some of the turns that I tried to set up by using my armor, I don't think were good enough to utilize armor. A lot of time it was like, okay, I'm going to use this equipment so that I can at least swing something at him, so that I'm getting cards out of his hand.
Right.
I think what most people know, and what I wasn't thinking about too much, was the fact of Guardians can't convert full hands, especially Oldhim.
Correct.
Which for him, he doesn't care, because if he has a full grip, he'll just sledge you for 6.
Yeah.
And so I just think I was probably a little bit, like I said, utilizing my equipment a little bit too much to not get a good enough crackback.
Yeah.
Like a good crackback is, dominating a 4 red into a pummel.
Yeah.
Which I was able to do that last week, and I wasn't able to set that up this week. And so it was just, one of those like, okay, cool. There wasn't like I think if I were to point out like one mistake, it was blocking with the pummel, but it wasn't. It was definitely the typical. It wasn't the. One of the things that I appreciate with Silver Age is the fact that usually there's 1 or 2 mistakes that you can point to and be like, "That's why I lost the game,"
Right.
and you learn from it. And so it's like, if I were to point at one or 2 things, it would be that. But other than that, there wasn't like a one thing I got wrong. It was just an incremental, kind of what Flesh and Blood was designed for. That incremental, I didn't make as good of decisions as him.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
It's things you look back on, especially when you're when you're reviewing the game in your mind, right? You come back and you're just like, what could have made this different? And it's like, well, there was a turn in which I had to block with cards that I wanted to keep because I needed to prevent a crush effect, and I didn't have the armor up at the time. So, blocking with it, instead of blocking the armor early on when there weren't a whole lot of threats, I should have saved it for turns I needed to have cards in my hand to pivot and make that happen. So, but hey, that's good. It's at least a good learning experience. Guardian v Guardian is something I expect to see a lot of coming forward.
Yes.
So, but so moving into our topic today, then, yesterday, really Sunday, technically, LSS came out with the new ban list for Classic Constructed. I do want to touch a little bit on one of the topics regarding the preemptive ban list that came out, because there was an unbanning of 2 cards in CC. It doesn't really matter, unaffecting anything at all.
I think they were good though, just because they're nice options to have for the classes that can utilize them.
I mean, they're nice options, but like, let's be honest, Vincett's not going to play Scepter of Pain. It's the only Rune Blade available. It's cool to know that Aurora will eventually get to use it if it gets, when Aurora comes around, but Vincett's not going to use it. And then the only hero that can use Rootbound Carapace is Jarl, and like Jarl doesn't really care about being he doesn't really care about being online a whole lot, like outside of maybe if you're wanting to get Felling of the Crown online earlier.
It's for the felling, really.
Yeah. So
you could look at that and go like, hey, maybe I want to put in 1 or 2 copies.
Yeah, but I think their defensive value is already super huge. There's already like a ton of variety you can do with Jarl. So I think
for me, it's more of it's nice to see them looking at cards and going, hey, we can like, it's just nice for them to do that, even though it doesn't affect anything. Because in the future, if heroes come out, they don't have to go, oh, hey, do we need to go back and look at our ban list and
right.
stuff for them?
Yeah,
it's just them, kind of dotting their I's, crossing their T's type of thing.
Yep.
I think card games get into the habit of just banning stuff and be like, cool, it's done with this being.
No, I mean, there's no reason to keep them banned. I mean, it's definitely no reason to keep them banned, and I think it's fine that they unban them. I think it's just more so, at least based on my understanding with how much Classic Constructed I have played over the course of my years, these two unbans are not like, oh, Jarl's S tier now. Like,
no,
it's just kind of,
it's not affecting
it's
anything.
it's good to know that because essentially what I view a lot of these as, whenever they unban something, is it's more so that it's kind of like, if you did not know, viewers at home, before there were restrictions, right? A ban and restricted, there were ban and suspended. And suspended cards were effectively cards that were unable to be played in the format so long as X hero was still legal in the format. It was not a hero specific ban, but it kind of was in a way, because so long as that hero existed, those cards were not playable in the format. I kind of view these as kind of the same vein, right? We had except you're able to apply it to a talent and a class now instead of it being specific to just one hero. Because that way you're like, okay, cool. You know, once this is no longer a thing that's going to be abused by the remaining individuals who are of this class and talent, we can unban it. So that's what we saw with that. We saw Scepter of Pain and Rootbound Carapace get unbanned. But we did also see is we saw a preemptive banning, which I don't think we've ever seen, not to my knowledge, of the fact that they are banning cards. They're already telling us cards that are on the next BNR before it even happens. We know the next BNR is going to be in May 28th. I think it's a week before Omen's. I think it's actually during Omen's world premiere, if not a week before it.
It's a week.
I know it's a week. It's a week before it because it's preview season.
Did they say the 28th?
Yeah, the 28th.
Pre-release is the 30th, and the world premiere is usually a week before.
It's somewhere over there. It's one of those times.
I think it's the week. It's in between.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's probably
pre-release.
Okay, so yeah, so then it'd be right around that time, but it's close to Omen's release, right? That's the purpose. And so what they've done is they've told us cards that are going to be banned in the next BNR before the set is fully spoiled and revealed. And the reason they're doing this is to kind of get people prepared and be like, hey, just heads up, like, don't, just know that these things are going to be, they're egregious. We don't want them in the format. And it's going to cause a lot of issues with Omens. So we're banning them preemptively in May. They're still legal now, but in May they will be banned. And the cards that are banned are Channel Lighting Valley, Volzar, Skyward Serenade. What's the other one? Yes, Electromagnetic Somersault, Phantom Tidemaw, and Reaping
That one was
Blade.
weird. Phantom Tidemaw was an interesting one.
Phantom Tidemaw has me thinking that this is going to be exactly like Talk a Big Game, where we look at that card and we go, really? What the hell? Why did that card get banned? And then we're going to see some stuff that Ziggy can do, and they're going to go, oh, that makes sense. Okay. So
I love everything about this. I know the community in general loves everything about this.
Yeah.
Because instead of them banning it now and totally nerfing the, all the...
Acilio is the only lightning hero, and they'd be dead in the water if they don't have a weapon. Yeah. Like, what are they going to play? So, they can't even play Crucible. They can play Aether Conduit. Yeah.
Well, and I love everything about this just because, I look at this and go like, okay, well, obviously Volzar, they're going to have a Volzar 2.0 that's not going to be as egregious probably. Somersault makes sense because it has been egregious since its release, but they don't want to hit that right now just because there won't necessarily be a replacement for it in Lightning per se, but there's nothing good. I don't feel like the pool of Lightning is really big enough to replace it with anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Really what it is. And honestly, the reason why the Lightning pool isn't big enough is because they keep banning it.
Yep, they keep banning stuff from Lightning. Who would have thought? They make an incredibly busted class, or talent, I should say. And then next thing you know, it's like you pair that up with incredibly powerful classes, and it's like, we have to ban things. That's our bad.
like when I've been building in Sage, like just let's say Sage
Mm-hmm.
for instance, I love Lexi, and when I've been building stuff for her, I'm like, crap. What do I? There's like a flex spot of like 2 to 4 cards, and every Lexi kind of has it, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what do I put in this? Because there's okay cards to put in there, but there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing like yes, this goes in here. Whereas some heroes, um, like look at KO and Sage, right? Like it's like
Right.
this goes here, right? There's
Yeah.
not a lot. There's like maybe one flex spot.
Yeah.
There's that one flex spot that people put in, or they'll put in a generic or something like that. But yeah, it's with Flex you have a little bit more because there's not like specific lightning. The lightning pool is. I'm not gonna say it's not wide like it is. There's decent
Mm-hmm.
amount of lightning cards, but it's okay. What do I put here, right? Because we need go again and different things like that, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of them that you have to really jump through hoops to get go again, if they even have go again at all,
Yeah.
which is okay. But like, yeah. Anyways, I just say that to be like, a lot of the most of the time, like you look at Lightning Ball, right? That was a good go again. It was small, but it did a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, it need to be banned. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that Lightning Ball is fair at
Yeah.
all.
All lighting is
Um,
definitely an egregious card, and I think I mean it's good the thing is that like unlike cards like Rootbound Carapace, there are a lot of
yeah.
lightning cards that will never see the light of day again. And
Yes. Oh, 100%.
it is just because they are really insane. I mean, when they unbanned Ball Lightning and Commoner, I was like, I don't know why they're doing all that because somebody's going to break the hell out of that thing. It's insane. And then they were
Nobody did though.
for a little while. I mean, it's just because like you couldn't get past the Sync Belows and Fate for
Yeah.
Scenes and everything. And it was like,
Right.
oh, I couldn't leak the damage even if I wanted to. But it is it's incredibly cool that we got this ahead of time. I think there is a lot of gripe in the community currently about. I even see people who are like complaining about why 6 cards were getting banned preemptively, why we're doing this. I've seen a bunch of posts on people being like, well, maybe since now that we're 19 sets deep with omens, maybe we need to start thinking about a rotating format. And I'm like,
Oh
what are we doing here? Like you guys saw 6 cards
that
get
that's
banned.
the
It's fine. Like it's literally
yeah.
okay. And not to mention the fact that one, it's better this happens now. I think personally, if I were a lightning enjoyer or if I were looking to get into lightning as a talent, if I didn't already own all of the cards for Acilio, I would have hoped that this ban list, this preemptive ban list, was announced alongside Omens. And the
Right.
only reason being is because I can understand that there's a bit of a feels bad that happens when Omens gets released and then Gone in a Flash jumps in price, Channel jumps up in price, all these other majestics that are in the lightning talent jump up in price, and people go, all right, cool, these are going to be the cards, these are going to be busted as hell, there's no way we're not going to be able to play these, like it's exciting, we get to play Aurora the way she was previously because that's the way they said, that's the way they marketed Aurora to everybody, was that. And so I was like, okay, yeah, like people are going to be like, all right, they're going to buy big cards. And then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, we get an information that CLV is going to get banned. For the record, only M, Lightning M, that was actually like the important thing.
Right.
Everything else is still very much so legal. Current funnels, Gone in a Flash, Blast to Oblivions are still legal. Like all this stuff. And I think the one thing that really hurts people the most is probably the Volzar ban, because let's be honest, I don't think Acilio is going to LL by the time Omens comes out. So like
I,
what are people going to do with old Acilio?
right.
Is the new weapon going to be hot swappable? Is it going to do kind of the same thing, or is it going to be more so just old Acilio is dead, play Brocilio instead? But I don't know. I think it's fine that they got it. I'm happy that we got that information. I'm happy that it was brought up, and it certainly helped me because I don't own those cards anyway. So
So I am a Lightning enjoyer, and I'm glad they did that. But I also only play budget formats, so like it doesn't.
Right.
Kind of Lightning Valley doesn't
Right. You're
affect
not
me
sitting.
too
You're not
much.
sitting on cold foil EA channel Lightning Valleys to specifically that are signed by the artists that are specifically signed for you to play Aurora in CC. Right. You're just like, well, if I happen to open one during my draft, then I'm good.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Like
The other thing though too is just like anything, don't buy on the highs. If you went
right.
out and spent hundreds of dollars on that only to find out it's going to get banned, I don't know who to blame but you.
Yep.
Because we all know when stuff like that comes out, they spike, people go out and buy them, people sell them because they're spiking, they're like, "Cool, let's offload it." And then right, like it's kind of like I see that and go like, I don't know what to tell you other than like this is what TCGs too do.
Yeah.
Um Cards like Channel Lightning Valley are a big are are big game changers that they probably could get hit by a ban. I'm surprised it didn't get hit by a ban before now, gonna
Yeah.
be completely honest. That like the best thing you can do is wait and see what is going to come out and then kind of decide what you're going to do. Sometimes, right? One things I've seen in general is usually when a set comes out, you get a few days where people aren't sure what's good, what's bad. And so if you see a Majestic low for a couple dollars, it's usually worth buying because then you get it before it pops up.
Yep.
Sometimes they will pop up. Sometimes, anyway, so I just say that to be like, usually you need to wait and see what's good to be good and what's not. And so
Yeah.
if you went out and bought Channel Lightning Valley on the high, I don't know what to tell you. We've seen this time and time again in Fab. We've seen this time and time again in card games in
Yep.
general.
In
Like
general.
this is just a card game thing. And
Mm-hmm.
so them giving us a heads up is a first. I've never seen that in any card game.
Yeah. It's huge. I mean,
I've seen it drop like when the set comes out, and then you go, shit.
Right. Yeah, I'd much rather have gotten it as early as we did because that's what I want as a the response to get people ready for that kind of stuff. And I do think that a lot of people I've seen online are like, oh well, this really affects the people who just bought their Channel Lightning Valleys for like $50 because it was like super expensive and they did it because it was the new set was coming out, so all the prices spiked and I had to buy them because I wanted to play Ziggy, right? Because the sound of a lightning illusionist sounded cool. So, if you never did my camera freeze? Dang it. So regardless of kind of how the setup is, people are going to be upset that they did not they didn't get the cards at the cheapest value of themselves and then to buy them at $50 and then have them be banned. Sure, I can understand the feels bad, but I need a lot of the community to understand that this maybe affected like 10 people. Like maybe 10 people were like, I need to go out and buy CLV. I'm a brand new player to the game. I wanted to buy my cards for Acilio because they're getting into the game with Acilio.
Does Acilio even run CLV?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He
absolutely.
Does? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Run CLV. You got to get gone in the flashes. You got to get current funnels. And unfortunately, at that point, you're already paying a premium for everything because not only are you buying a bunch of the premium Majestics for Lightning, but you're also buying into one of the meta picks for the season at this moment. So you're going to be spending your money. It's not like it's going to be cheap, right? So you spend that money and then you find out those cards are going to get banned in 2 months. I mean, it sucks, but let this be a lesson that what you should do instead, for those of you who maybe have yet to buy your CLVs, is buy them when they're banned. Because let me tell you, that's going to be like $2. It's going to be like $2 for a copy of CLV. You could probably get the EAs for really, really cheap.
I will probably buy them because I do like Living Legend. At some point, blah 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 blah. My nose is stuffy and I can't.
You're good.
I enjoy Living Legend.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy specifically Lexi and Living Legend.
Yeah.
Go figure. What do you know? I will probably grab them because it'll be a couple dollars. I will probably grab them just to be like, I'm gonna have these for Living Legend whenever it comes back.
Exactly,
like,
and that's a good way to think about it.
To grab them. And as you just saw, things get unbanned.
Yep.
And there might be a world in which that stuff gets unbanned.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
it's always a
worth just
possibility.
grabbing if you like lightning.
If it's been banned, the odds are it could get unbanned. So there's always just a reason for you to say, hey, if it's banned at the time and you were like, wow, glad I dodged that bullet, just buy them anyway, because you're gonna get them for a cheaper price now that they're banned, and you'll be able to have them for Living Legend if they ever get unbanned. If they ever, like, 2 seasons down and one of the lightning heroes is still it kind of is not on the up and up, maybe they're like a B tier and they need something to push their power. That's when LSS usually is like, hey, let's unban something for the lightning talent, see how they take it, and see how it works in this meta, and we'll ban it again if we need to ban it again. But that is at least their better understanding, and that's what we end up seeing a lot from that. But
let's move to the next part.
I was going to say, yes.
This is the most fascinating part. If you want to read that, I'm going to go pour myself a little more coffee.
Yeah. So Silver Age actually had a little portion in this ban list, which, we weren't expecting, obviously, there to be any bans in this BNR for Silver Age. And obviously, there were not. But what there was a little blurb that was about Silver Age. And it's actually a topic Nathan and I had spoken about previously. It's a lot of things people have been speaking about for Silver Age and the ban list ever since the last BNR for Silver Age, which was the fact that a lot of people were curious as to why no cards were banned from, like, the KO Precon or really the KO deck in general. We know a lot of egregious cards were in that deck. Why some other cards from other of the precons weren't touched, even though we know they're really powerful and kind of almost warping the meta in a way. LSS actually came out with a small little blurb, TLDR, effectively, because it's quite a bit to kind of go over. But effectively, LSS has heard the community in the fact that a lot of people are confused as to why cards were not getting banned. Specifically from heroes that we know were already doing very well in the format. And a lot of us chalk that up to those cards are in the precon decks. And because of that, LSS wants to make money to sell precons. So they're not going to ban anything from the precons because it's a feels bad to purchase a precon and then say, hey, new player, you can't play that. Get 2 commons from another individual and get those and put those in your deck instead, because those cards are banned, right? So LSS's whole ideology behind, like, the precons is that they want the chapter decks to be wholly untouched for an entire season. So the second those precons come out, chapter 1, chapter 2, they expected none of the cards to be touched from those precons from Pen all the way until Omens, right? So in between those, are the core set to core set, those no cards will be touched inside those precons. And the reason being is because they wanted to make sure that it was a good onboarding experience. People weren't worried about deck building restrictions and things like that. And they also mentioned that it is going to be the same for chapter 3 decks, which we know are releasing near Omens, in which cards will that have been banned very well could see an unban because they're in the precon decks. We know that one of those decks is Briar. And Briar, if is going to be played at the most powerful version of herself, is going to have Burn Up Shock and Lightning Press in that deck, I'm almost certain. And when that happens, we are expected to see an unban of Burn Up Shock and Lightning Press, and or well, I mean, we'll probably see them unbanned anyway, but what will happen is if that hero ends up being benched in the season that there is that chapter deck, so let's say we all collectively go and ban Briar for next season, when she comes back the season after, she'll have those cards unbanned for another season to have that access. And so effectively stating, doesn't matter, if it's in the Precon, it's going to be legal. Nothing's going to get touched in there. So I hope you're ready for more Rune Blades to take over metas, because that's what it's going to be. And their purpose behind it is, very professional in a way, but it is kind of something that a lot of people are upset about, because really the issue at hand isn't so much that we don't like Runeblade, right? I think Nathan and I both like Runeblade a lot. But the issue here is that there are people who are testing for this format for Pro Tour Yokohama. And those individuals now have to play in a format that I personally believe, and have believed since its release, to not be tier 4 competitive yet. Just period. Not yet. But because it's marketing hype and getting things set up, and obviously we have a set that just recently came out that did not have a draft in it, they had to get some other format to be a part of tier 4 for testing, and Silver Age was it. Nathan, your thoughts?
I have lots of thoughts. I think the first thought is, from a business standpoint, this makes sense. I don't think anyone can argue that, because the reality of it is number one, right? Like, stores need to sell product.
Yeah.
Right. Like, my store is a big Sage store. We still have every single deck on there. Granted, a handful of us have bought in some, but there's still like 3 or 4 for each one, which is not a bad spot to be.
Right.
Because we're not really out of any. So, like, as we bring in new players, we've had new players in, we've had returning players that have bought some of the stuff in order to get it. But we also have very enfranchised players where we have a ton of bulk. So a lot of us are like, here's some bulk, go build your deck, whatever you're going to do. So they don't need that as much. But my point is, no store likes to have it sitting there. Our store is happy to have it sitting there for bringing in new players, because Fab isn't obviously the moneymaker, but it is a passion of our community there. Like, one of the owners is a very passionate Fab player. We have a handful of people that are still passionate Fab players. There's 3 owners of that store. Even, a couple of the other owners, like, they actually love playing Sage. Like, they'll jump in. They enjoy Fab. They just don't have the time or the energy to invest into it. One of the owners was not so. There's like one of the main owners. There's it's switched hands a couple times, but there's been one main owner all the way through, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple buyouts and things like that for the other ones. But the main guy who's been through all the way through, they're all friends of mine. He loves Fab. He's the reason why they carry Fab. Other 2, they enjoy Fab, but one of them loved Aurora, and when Aurora LL'd, he's like, all right, I'm gonna kind of sell out this game because I love Aurora. But he's he'll come in, he'll play Sage. Like, I gotta get him some more cards for Lexi. Like, he sent me a huge list of like, here's the cards I need to finish my Lexi.
Yeah.
So like, they're in it, especially in Sage. Like, when Sage was announced, they were all of them in our community was like, yes, like, this is great, this is awesome. And so, like, our community is growing. We had 7 people last night for a Sage Monday night.
That's huge.
Sage event of like, just like, we're gonna come in and chill and play Sage for 3 rounds.
Like,
it's not even Armory,
right?
Like, so, like, and this is returning. This is franchise players. This is returning players. This is a couple new players. Like, we had a blast. And there's nothing, getting in first. I think we all just pitched in $5, and the first 2 got, a couple, like, $10 for
some store
for
credit.
Store credit. Right. Yeah, like, nothing big. Like, I think I got like $13 or $14 or whatever.
Right.
So, like, we're all just, pitching in and having fun. $5, cool. Can't even go to a movie for $5 anymore. So I said to say, like, Fab in our community is big. We still have a lot of decks on the wall, but we also do have people going. But the reality of it is, product needs to move, or it's not worth it to the stores.
Yeah,
That's the reality of it is. And that's what LSS is looking at it from a business perspective. That's the way that they're looking at it, is because they need to have stores. Like I said, I've been playing since Crew. I've seen stores come and go because they can't move product.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I mean,
they get into it for a couple years, and then the community's sort of there, sort of not, and so then they just drop it. And now I have to drive an hour away to play Fab
and it's why,
because
I
there's
mean,
nothing in my region.
you'll exactly see that because I mean, that's why you've seen that there's no more Blitz collections. No more Blitz. Obviously, like Blitz is not like the same as it was previously, but like there weren't any more Blitz collections being done after like the Hunted. You know, the last one that was printed was the Hunted. And I think they
I
also
thought
learned
from the get-go that those were a mistake.
right, yeah, and I mean, we all knew like because they're just it's a starter deck effectively that you know if you're trying to get into the game, like sure, if you just are interested in these 3 to 4 heroes you can buy that bundle and you can go kitchen tabletop with your buddies or whatever if that's what you want to do, but like that's not going to keep you enfranchised into the game. Also it's like 70 freaking dollars for like
If it was
probably
50, maybe,
yeah, like it
but,
just
like, even
didn't
that is still kinda
yeah, it didn't work out in the way. And then of course like you see the Aurora Armory deck, right? The Aurora Armory deck came out. Armory decks are a big hit. They're selling off shelves because they got exclusive cards inside of them. Aurora's deck
Mhm.
came out, and then like a couple months later, she was gone. Like a month later.
Yeah,
And
because
like it
because
was,
they didn't wanna ban any cards in it, which
yep.
I get. So, from a business standpoint, I'm happy with this. I'm actually overall happy with this decision.
Hmm.
Like, I am not upset with this decision. I think this is the right decision. Do I wish that KO could be brought down a peg? Sure. Am I gonna be playing Guardian for the rest of the season? Absolutely.
Uh huh.
Um, like, that's what it is. I'm gonna be playing, I'll finish my Valda deck, and I'm gonna be playing that because we have a lot of people that enjoy KO in our on our Monday night, and
Yeah.
so I've been playing Guardian. I don't particularly enjoy Guardian as much, but I do enjoy Valda, and
Hmm.
I've enjoyed kind of stepping into a class that historically I haven't enjoyed as much, and so it's been interesting to just try to get into a class that I've just kind of learning it, like
Right.
learning it in this lower powered format has been an interesting kind of journey and a fun one. And while I love playing Lexi and I've played her hardcore, she just can't handle the brutes. She can't
Right.
handle the guardians. Like that's traditionally she is better against those like ninja players
Hmm.
or even and Briar and stuff like that. When Briar comes back in, hell yeah, I'm gonna be back on Lexi. Like I love just shutting down their turns.
Right.
But so I think from a business perspective this makes sense. And kind of to your point, I will forever say this. Pen was not designed for um Sage. Pen was designed for LL.
Hmm.
And there's certain cards in there that make me think that, like, the
Well,
Goo Trap
there were cards that were
being a
designed
rare.
for LL. Like James White specifically said that there are cards that were designed for
Oh, I
LL.
know, but, like, you look at, like, Goo Trap, for instance, the
Right.
Ranger card,
Hmm.
that's designed to take on, um, uh,
Starvo.
Starvo. It's
Hmm.
designed to take on Starvo. I was thinking Star of the Show. I was like, "What is his acronym?" I haven't said it in forever. Um, it was designed to take on Starvo. If it was designed for Sage, that card right there would have been an M, and they would have had a different card in the rare slot.
Yeah.
This is a rare. And so, if it was designed with Pen in mind or with Sage in mind, Pen would have, I think, done different rarities in it.
Yeah.
So I say that to be like, I think they really, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they really didn't design Sage until about Omens, and they're
Hmm.
like, hey, we'll just use this set as our add-on because we need to feed some of these cards in there to fix some of these heroes,
Hmm.
and so this feels like a good onboarding experience. I think it was after the set was designed that they decided that they would do Sage. So, because they always said they've never said they designed Pen with Sage in mind. They've said that they didn't test Sage until Pen.
I mean, I'm pretty
Listen
sure.
to the wording.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure though that this was definitely a set that was meant for Sage, like pretty
I
specifically.
know. I think it was just like they were like, this would be a good onboarding point. We're going to use this as this, and we're going to push
you
it.
can't look at any of the assassin stuff that came out. I mean, any of it, and say, those cards, all LL cards. Huntsman needed every single one of those things. Like, that's not gonna.
Right.
That's not
That's
a.
CC. You need every single one of them in CC.
Well, I mean,
They didn't make it
Huntsman's a
different than
legal
Sage.
hero. Huntsman's a legal hero to play in LL also. Like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no, I
Like,
know, but
I
I
think
think they were
it's
looking at it as to put cards into Sage and LL and CC,
yeah.
not Sage. And then they're like, "Oh, hey, this is a good onboarding." But anyways, so I say that to say, I bet you they didn't start doing it until Omens, and I bet you there's going to be some decent stuff for Lightning in Omens in
Right.
that common and rare slot for Sage.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they have the generics, I bet you that they'll do some of that in there. But anyways, I think it was interesting that they said, we will unban cards to make it. And once again, I get that. And that's why I'm kind of like, I hope nobody votes to ban Briar, because I just want to see Briar versus Chain for a season and just let them duke it out, and then we can ban them all and reset. The most interesting thing that I got out of this, though, was that they have a different product to introduce Sage decks in the future.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. They did mention in that same article that the Chapter 3 decks are the currently scheduled, like, next release of Silver Age pre-constructed product, but set 20 is going to have pre-constructed product for Silver Age that does not inhibit their ability to ban cards, right? Because that's effectively what these chapter decks are, right? These are cards that are put into these decks so people could play them at the best ability that they can, and in order to keep them untouched for the season, right? They're making them super powerful, and then they're just going to go ahead and ban them next season, or that's the plan. Is they'll go, okay, let's just ban these cards for next season instead of doing it for this season. That way, people can buy a $20 precon, go into a showdown, and see how they do, right? And I think that's awesome.
I wonder if they're gonna start doing like what they did with Gravy Bones, where they made him blitz. I wonder if they're gonna start doing maybe that, do an armory deck with a Sage counterpart.
I mean, you think they
the reason why I say
would have done that for Ziggy, right?
Yeah, but once again, I don't think they had everything set up for Sage going into
that's
all this stuff.
I see, and I'm not gonna lie,
I have a hard time believing
I
it.
really appreciate your optimism in so many different ways, and you know I do. But dude, they've been doing this for 6 years, and they've said on several occasions that they've never wanted Blitz to be what Blitz is. They wanted Blitz to be what Silver Age is. And
right, yes.
So they've had Silver Age in mind for a really long time, and have only now just thought about, like, okay, let's actually bring it to market. And as I mentioned on my video that I made on Monday, I just do not, and this is probably just due to the limited amount of manpower that LSS has.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I just do not think they're doing enough testing before they're sending a product to market. I just don't think they're doing it. I don't think they're doing enough testing. Because there's no reason why during the Project Blue to Silver Age transition, right, they didn't even have a beta phase. Alpha came out, and they were like, all right, let's just do alpha. And then the second alpha was done, they were like, let's give it 2 weeks, shut down the project in Discord, and then immediately announce that it's called Silver Age, and it's going to be coming out X date, and we're good to go. And it's like, that's awesome. I'm happy to see the product came through that well. But when they did the ban list, to update the ban list there, you take a look at cards they banned to prevent future issues, like Vigorous Smash Up. They knew Vigorous Smash Up was going to be a card that was going to be used in KO.
So bad with it.
Exactly. It would have been insane. And guess what? They banned it. You know what they should have also done before they decided to make a freaking pre-constructed deck? Is pre-ban the cards that they know were good. If they did the testing locally and they were like, let's make this really busted Briar deck that we know is going to be coming out, or we know is going to have all these tools, they have professional players on their development team that are able to find these nuances and take these wins and go, okay, cool. I see the lines here. This deck is going to be busted. This deck is going to be busted because you have 20 life, and if you're highly aggressive and you're consistent, you'll never lose. And lo and behold, there's no way they didn't test that. Like, they had to test that internally and then proceed to go, all right, Beaten Trackers and Buckwild are kind of a mess. What if we just replaced Buckwild with a different Super Slam card, and then we put Flat Trackers in there instead of Beaten Trackers, and we still said this is going to be the best version of the deck because Beaten Trackers and Buckwild are going to get banned along with Vigorous Mashup. Like, that would have been far more heads up, and we wouldn't have even been needing to have this discussion right now if that were the case. If they actually did the testing with all of the cards, with 18 sets worth of cards, they would have known that this was something that was going to end up happening, because Brute is that egregious, and it's really KO's hero power that is that egregious. So ban those cards, don't put them in the structure deck, and then that way people can go, this is still the strongest version of KO you can play. You just don't get go again on everything that you specifically have, and you now have to choose whether or not you want go again on your boots or block one, right? That is a much better like experience for any player to go, okay, we know that these cards are busted. We know that these cards are going to cause issues. Let's go ahead and just take the preemptive decision. I don't care how long the ban list has to be. Just make it consistent. And the fact that they did not do that, and we're still seeing cards that were missed in their initial ban list, like how when Project Blue became Silver Age, did we seriously not see Burn Up Shock banned immediately?
Yeah,
why did we not see that already? And so that's always my gripe, right? Again, this is nothing against LSS, because I'm almost certain this is a manpower issue and not a we don't want to do it. We just want to ship it to market and make a ton of money because, apparently...
I don't even know that they make a ton of money off it. Let's be real. Well, Sage isn't a moneymaker.
Exactly. I mean, it's a budget format thing, but I mean, it is kind of a moneymaker when you put them into professional tournaments and get them all set, because like people now have to go pay for entry fee into the showdown, and entry fee into the showdown is twice the cost of your own deck. So you're still paying for those things, but at the end of the day, you're not paying a lot for the cards, and most of the time it's bulk that other people are giving you. So yeah, sure, you may not see the Silver Age players buy boxes, right? But they'll at least be spending their money to go to the events, and the event cost is really what's going to recur that back. But again, this is, I think my big thing is for the fact they don't have manpower to do this.
Well, you know what's crazy though, right? They did a couple of events for Sage. People didn't bring those decks.
Yeah.
So like, I almost look at it and be like, sure, it's manpower, but the community who was testing it out didn't even bring those decks. They weren't on anybody's radar.
I mean, I don't know every single deck that was brought. And again, it's not like these decks are unbeatable, right? Of course they can be beaten. Like, if you're playing Oldham and you're playing against a KO who doesn't, like, really know what they're doing, like, you could win if you're doing in that. Same with Briar, right? If Briar never sees...
I mean, Oldham just shuts down KO.
Yeah.
And most gardens shut down KO.
I mean, that's it, KO, even Briar, right? If Briar, it's just like, cool, you're going to send 4, I'm going to block 4, and they're going to go Lightning Press, and you go, cool, Springboard Somersault. Oh, scary. Like, there's answers to things. It's not, I think Silver Age is also still, even today, an unsolved format. I think there's so much to be discovered, and so many things that people are not planning on playing in their game because, Jacob Clements didn't have it in his list, or Josh Lau didn't have it in his list, or whoever, Michael Hamilton wasn't playing it in his list in the showdown. Like, there are so many people who don't want to take the time to actually like do testing with some of these cards, and that's because like a lot of people are just like, well, why would I do it if I know a pro player is going to do it and then just build the deck for me, right? But by that point, the deck is completely scrapped after the event, and is like, all right, we're not doing this. We got to change out like 5 cards in the deck because it just doesn't feel the same way. But I think that just overall, I wish that there was better. I wish there was more testing done before these Precon decks were made, because even if it was like Rhinar instead of KO, I still think it would have been like a better thing, because it'd be like, okay, that at least plays out a little bit better. But the Precon decks having cards in there that are unbannable for a season, like a season is like 4 months.
It's 4 months.
That's a long time to be playing the same thing week after week after week after week after week and not having any significant change. And we only are going to get one ban list, right? We have the one ban list. We saw the cards that got banned. We saw the cards get unbanned. The cards that get unbanned didn't really do anything. The cards that got banned, though, like Briar is not the same deck, right? Several decks aren't exactly the same, but KO didn't get changed at all, really. And KO gets to continue to do what he's going to do, and he's going to continue to do it until the community bans him in May. And then what? Right? Like at that point, why are we pushing for that, right? This could have been a situation where if you just were aggressive with your bans, we wouldn't have to worry about like we wouldn't have to worry about heroes being like, okay, well, maybe KO would have been able to stick around if they banned Buckwild and Beaten Trackers, and we would have just had to play like something different, right? But instead, now you're just kind of stuck with the same the same for the next several months, which feels bad. So
and this is kind of like one of those, like, once again, why are we? I think we know why it's being pushed, right?
For sure,
because of the set that came out. And I think this is a reason why I don't love expansions ones anymore.
Yeah.
Because of this reason. Like, they can't switch it to be like, okay, we're going to do something different in this spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're kind of stuck in what they have because there's not a set to go to.
Well,
like,
I mean,
draft.
Yes, like, yeah, obviously, and that's the thing, though. Like,
Super Slam?
But I genuinely think, and let me know in the comments below, I genuinely think that if the Pro Tour was just like 17 rounds of Classic constructed and nothing else, nobody would be upset about that.
Oh, everybody would love it.
They would love it. They would love it. So I don't understand why it needed to be pushed as a tier 4 event. I love the Battlegrounds. I love Skirmish Season being Silver Age. I love there being showdowns, because showdowns are just like smaller little events, right? Like, it's still tier 3, but like, yeah, like loosely, it's not really that insane. You still get your chance at gold foils and all that stuff, but like, that is something that you just like actively can sign up for. There are people who are competing in this season's Pro Tour in Yokohama that do not want to play this format. And like, most people can come around to draft, but telling them that they're going to play a very egregious format where there are cards that are untouchable in a ban list because they're in a Precon, and we just have to deal with that, like, that doesn't feel good to me as a player, because I would want to play it. I love Silver Age, but not everybody does. And that's why I'm saying, like, if this was just a all CC Pro Tour, we'd be looking at something different, but instead we're not. Instead,
has there been an all CC one before?
Not that I'm aware of, but
I think it's always 2 formats.
It's always been 2. I think there was 3 for a little while too. But
right.
That is but that's the whole thing. That's my hot take. It's not really hot. I think it's like very room temperature at this rate.
Right. I think everybody agrees with you.
There are things that needed to be changed. And it's unfortunate that this is the same feeling that people went into when they were going into the World Championship, where they're like, God, I have to play LL. An unbalanced format.
There was like a very interesting things that people did, and it changed everybody's opinion of it.
And it did.
And so maybe
we can hope. We can hope, right? We can only hope that if we go into Pro Tour Yokohama and there's not a single KO in the top 8, then
or just 2,
or even 2, we're in a completely different scenario, right? We've seen Dash win events, we've seen Kano win events, we've seen Oldham win events, we've seen these things happen, but most of the room is going to be KO, and I think a lot of people are just really sick of playing into one hero for like 7 rounds of Swiss. Like, That's a lot.
I'm gonna be honest, if most of the room is, I think that's a mistake. I think he's super hittable, and you go after him.
Yeah. I think most people
I think
will.
the best players are going to go after him,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be the ones in the top 8, and we're not gonna see KOs.
Yep. I think, well, I think we're still going to see KOs, but I
Right,
think it's,
but only a couple.
you have to be, I mean, it has to line up super well. They're also just really good KO players. Like, they're good players that play KO. Like,
yeah,
that's also the other thing, right? Flesh and Blood is not just about the cards in your deck, it's about the skill you have as a player. And I can tell you what, there could be 70 KOs in a room, and if 5 of them make it, it's because they've got, like, Pro Tour top 8s under their belt, or calling wins under their belt, or showdown wins, or whatever. Like, they've been in the trenches, they have their training, they know what they're doing, and that's what makes them the better player. But conversion rates are still going to look pretty good compared to, like, somebody who brings Lexi,
sure.
So I think it's definitely just one of those things where I wish it was better thought out, and I could understand why bringing a product to market as soon as possible due to demand, right? Because we know it was demand. We know it was not like Ellis was like, let's put it on the shelf for a little bit. I'm sure they were gonna shelve Silver Age for like quite a while, but they were like, no, let's bring it to market, and people can start playing at their LGS and get familiar with it, and then finally we'll release cards for, we'll release the pen decks, and that's what we're really going to tell people. That's when season 1 starts, is with Compendium of Wraith, and because people really want to play it. And then pen came out, 2 weeks of PQs, and now I've had like 75% of the Colorado community who was loving Silver Age during that first 2 weeks. They do not like it anymore. And that's a lot of, it's a lot of players locally, a lot of players locally.
Yeah,
and so, and it's because they're not willing to take those hits. I'd much rather I think a new player would much rather be okay, especially if they're like brand new to TCGs. They buy a deck, they come to a showdown, and they say, hey, or they come to a armory and they're like, hey, I just bought this deck, let me play it. I don't care if they're playing with banned cards, if they're brand new to the game and they're going to play beaten trackers in their KO deck. I don't care. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to educate them to let them know the card's banned. What I can do for you is show up next week. I'll give you a copy of beaten trackers because I've got like 100.
Right.
And I will just give you the cards that you need in order for you to hot swap them to be the same deck you're playing now, just a little bit, more legal of a version of the deck. And I think anybody who is an ambassador of the Silver Age format, people who are wanting to grow their local scene, people who are wanting to keep people into the Flesh and Blood, are willing to do that. And I just don't see where, like, now the rest of the community suffers and people go, I have to play a format I don't even like anymore because they don't want to ban cards from a Precon, because it's a feels bad, and really only a feels bad for people who don't know anything about TCGs, period, at all, because they might not ever own any other cards. When I think it's well known within the Flesh and Blood community, we will give out so much to new players. I've given Majestics to new players. I have given a ton of Rainbow Foil full art gem promos to new players so that they can get themselves set up and get themselves excited about Flesh and Blood, right? I think any of us are willing to do it, especially if we're established players who are wanting people to grow in the scene. And it sucks that that's apparently not seen enough to warrant a ban from a Precon. But that's it. That's all I got. That's my rant.
I know. I was gonna say I know we're about at time, so
yep.
Want to do a rundown?
Yep. So yeah, that's so we're gonna call it here for the episode today. Thank you so much if you watched live. Thank you for being here as a channel member. We're gonna start this at 7:15 a.m. roughly Mountain Standard Time every Tuesday. Get that up so that way we can go ahead and get our podcast all recorded, and then I can get it edited towards the end of the night, so on and so forth. VOD is available on Wednesdays, in which you can just watch us do the same thing, except it'll be available to everybody. Outside of that, though, I'm just going to be covering more Silver Age stuff, getting myself prepared for the Battlegrounds this weekend. So that'll be a fun talking point for next week. And then, Nathan, I'm sure you're going to be spending most of your time getting better.
Yes. Just trying to get over this.
Yes. So, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I've got here. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for, letting us speak in your ear for a little while. Let us know in the comments down below if there is any of our topic points that you enjoyed, something you wanted to touch on. And we're always down to chit chat and hang out. And I love having these discussions with people. So it'll be a fun time getting to talk to everybody there. And as always, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and continue to have fun in the flesh and blood. And we will see you all in the next episode of the Common Language Podcast. Bye, everybody.